Neil, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I have allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Linda, would you lead us in roll call?
Sarah?
Here.
Neil?
Here.
Betty? Here. Chris?
Here.
And Hank?
Here.
All right, we are here for two public hearings prior to the regular meeting of the town board. Because this is an ongoing issue, I just want to make it clear it's the responsibility of the town clerk for every public hearing to have available both the resolution and any proposed amendment
Let me
to
speak
local
up
law.
a second. I didn't obtain those things until very late this afternoon, so she didn't have them until just a couple of
Thank you,
minutes ago.
Hank.
Okay, these things should have been presented at the last board meeting.
Oh,
So a public hearing, I'm sorry, I was sick last month,
That was called the introduction last time.
right, so when a local law is proposed for amendment, the resolution to amend along with the amendment would have been brought to the meeting. Both, in the case of FEMA, it would have been at the special meeting. And in the case of the Board of Ethics changes, it would have been brought at the regular meeting. So let's just clarify, were those two things brought at the last two meetings?
No.
Okay, then we can't have a
Hang on,
public hearing.
no, we introduced the 37-page law, we made photocopies at
Yeah.
a special meeting.
Yes, it's a special.
Okay, so we did do that.
We didn't have all the paperwork in order, that was the only difference.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
but the
It
resolution,
was here.
in this resolution right here, it was introduced? Or no?
No, not the resolution. What was introduced was the intention to modify, and then we had the old text in the case of the ethics law, and the only text that we were furnished in the case of the FEMA law.
Okay, so let's take it one at a time to make sure we're doing this properly. For the FEMA, so first FEMA.
Sarah, I need to caution you that
Yeah.
that time is of the essence on the FEMA law.
Yeah, right, and I just want to make sure that we're acting in accordance with the law. So, okay, so for FEMA, and again, I apologize, I was sick last month, and then the meeting was scheduled at a time when I was away at a conference from work, so I wasn't here for these. But for FEMA, we have resolution number, what will it be, Linda?
53.
53 of 2017. We have the wording, and we have the, is there any associated amendment to law besides this resolution that we have in front of us? It's just adopting the local law number. Do we have the local law in front of us?
Local law.
You have a copy.
Local law number 7, it was for FEMA.
Yes.
Okay, so I see local law number 6 for Evans. Now, I don't see in front of me local law number 7.
I wonder if they keep disappearing over there.
I know we had it right in front of us. so-
Yeah.
Again, if these were introduced at a prior meeting, then when the public hearing is called, automatically, both the resolution and the law would be presented to both the public and the council, and that's what we're deciding.
It was presented to the public and the council at the meeting.
Okay, so then,
You're the only one that didn't get it because it was in your folder. It should have been in your
It's
folder.
not for
and you
me,
forgot.
it's for the public to abide by the law. So right now, we're having a public hearing for the public to decide on whether they, to have input on whether this is something that they
They had
would
it.
like to
They
go
had it.
along. with, so they need to have it in front of them right now.
There's
So
7
would you please
pages, all I
make
have is
copies?
2 extra copies, so
So
they're
you'll
gonna
have
have
to
to
go
share.
make
Weren't some passed into the audience?
We can't legally pass this unless the public has access.
Well, I don't know, we've been running
Well,
copies.
people had it last time, who has a copy of this
That's
already?
not the law, Linda.
We had the draft last time.
No, this was well, what it is,
Linda, would you just please make the copies?
I just made copies for Hank, I wanna ask Hank a question, if it's all right with you. Hank, is this what I'm supposed to have, right here, is this what they're supposed to have?
Yeah,
It's right here.
Linda, you don't need to get angry. How many copies are available?
We have enough for
We
everyone.
don't have to.
You need to have copies
No,
available
that's
for
the
everyone.
FEMA law.
just two.
I gave you other ones, I made 10 copies.
Yeah, I distributed them out to the council and you, so, sorry.
Said just 10 copies, so that's what I made.
So while Linda's
And
making
I
the
just
copies,
got this, Sarah, so.
Linda, no need to yell. While Linda's making the copies for the board, can I just confirm that the exact language of these laws was presented in prior meetings?
Did we read the laws in their entirety?
No, you don't have to read them. They just need, we are now
They were explained.
having a hearing on what was presented to the public. If there's any change, even a word,
No,
then we can't
no,
go ahead with the hearing.
no change.
There's no change. Okay,
The lawyers,
so then we're good.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Then we're fine.
Although there were things that we didn't fill in that are filled in.
True, but the things they were filled in with were planning board in the case of the person who needs to act on variances and zoning board of appeals for the appeal process for findings of this group, that group.
And, okay, so what you said before, that you just sent the information out today,
No, I just sent it out a week or two ago and it was ready today.
but what we should be deciding on today is exactly what was presented in the last meeting.
Exactly,
Okay, so we're,
yeah.
okay.
It didn't drill down to verbiage like zoning board of appeals.
We took a copy of the FEMA law as presented, that's what they were asked to pass.
It's their law.
It's their law.
And we're just passing.
It was just passed.
Okay.
Even though all the nomenclature may clash with our nomenclature, we're passing it now.
And as the Duns have assured us, we're at great liberty later to modify it should we wish to. If the time was of the essence problem makes it such that we do have to pass it now.
Sarah, there's supposed to be a set of maps accompanying this law. Do you have them?
They are on, I believe I have them here. These are the current ones.
Oh, is that the one she just gave me?
Or supposedly they sent us a set of maps that I've made.
Well, I think the Duns have them.
I didn't get some.
I don't have them. This will be in a bit.
And the open one number 6, you just have the draft.
Yeah,
Doesn't change the
it wasn't changed from the draft copy whatsoever.
Just doesn't say draft on it.
No.
But, so we're good there.
Board,
Board, so, well, I got one more. on the town planning board?
The board collectively could act as administrator.
The town planning board?
Yes.
All right, so we now have the amendment to the law and the resolutions in front of us. And just as again, I'm going to, because we're now at almost 6:20, as a matter of course, anytime a public hearing is called by the town board, related to amendment to local law, it's always related to something that was introduced in a prior town board meeting. You cannot make an amendment to law or hold a public hearing to something that has been just introduced that day. That's a problem that we had with the prior town council, so I'm very, I just want to make sure the public isn't seeing something for the very first time. We have had clarity that both of the decisions and the matter in front of us has been presented in prior meetings. Linda, going forward, please just make sure to have those resolutions and proposed amendments ready for the public, enough copies for both the public and the council before the meeting gets started, so we can get started on
I
it.
didn't get this till 10 after 6.
If you didn't get it until, you did get it, because the entire public got it at the last meeting. We've gone
No,
through.
I
No,
did
that was
not
a
get
draft.
that because it was not filled out. I just got it
Okay,
filled
so-
out tonight.
Please don't rush. Now,
I'm not yelling,
if
I'm
it
stating
was,
the
if
fact.
it was changed, we
No.
can't,
The draft contains all of the language that you see currently here today, but she couldn't proceed from the draft because it was not a regular document, it's marked draft in diagonal large letters across each page of text.
okay, so it just went from draft, like there was a word that said
But-
draft, and now it's not draft.
But not a single word was
Okay.
changed in the text.
All right,
of
so
the
in
law.
future, I would just ask you to, if you don't have the materials we need to be ready for the meeting, reach out to somebody and say, look, I don't have the materials I need for this hearing, send me something so that we can get started on time. Okay, I will now open it up to public comment. I'm sorry, I need to tell you all why we're here. So first of all, there are two different amendments to local law being proposed. One is, will you tell me the local law number for FEMA?
All right. I did that a minute ago.
Okay, so this is, it's a resolution to adopt local law number 7, flood damage prevention. You have that resolution in front of you. You also have, it's about 50 pages of text that would, that describes the amendment. Would any of the town board members like to provide background on what's going on here?
I'd be happy to talk about it. This law was asked for us to be introduced by New York State in conjunction with FEMA to bolster building rules and regulations within categorized flood zones. There are maps available on FEMA that there are maps available on FEMA that show the various flood zones. And these are new, we are adopting new rules for building in these flood zones. And it is using the 100-year flood line as the baseline for building in these zones. We have several zones in the town that fall into the 100-year floodplain. I think that
Okay,
pretty much.
great, thank you. So I
Okay.
will open it, thank you very much.
Okay.
I will open it up to public comment on this specific amendment to adopt, the specific resolution to adopt local law number 7. Any public comments? Any public comments before we move to close? Okay, we need the motion to close public comment on adoption of local law number 7.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, great. Moving on to, Linda, is this, the, adoption of local law number 6? Do I have the number right for Board of Ethics?
Law number 6.
Okay, great. So, this is the second portion of this public hearing is to hear public comment on the resolution number 54 of 2017, a resolution to adopt local law number 6, ethics law. This has been sponsored by Henry Vandenberg and worked on by the Board of Ethics. Hank, would you give us a little background before I open it up?
The major thing that happened with this law revision was it was vetted by another couple of lawyers, our town lawyers, the Dunns, and they saw that there were some illegal things in the old version of the law contained within it. So they basically straightened out all the illegalities that they identified. And probably most notable, they did two notable things. One was to detach the sexual harassment language and workplace harassment language from the ethics law. We could have a new law on that if we wish to, or just regard that as within town policies as we have been. The other thing they did was to remove some of the police powers of the ethics committee and lodge them such as they are with the town board, although they didn't specify types of punishment that could be rendered to an ethics violation. So that's the long and short of the changes.
Great, I will open it up to public comment. Any comments?
Who are the people currently serving on the Board of Ethics?
We'll address it in council comments.
Well, you asked for a public comment. How can I make a comment if you don't answer my first question?
It's not a time for questions and back and forth. A public comment is the time for you to give your input on this proposed change.
Okay, if this change that's going to happen allows a member of the board to be on the Board of Ethics, I don't think that that's right, because that's like giving the chicken to the fox.
They can do whatever they want.
We'll address it in council comments. Thank you. Any other comments?
Right.
Yeah, do we really have a legal board now? I mean, do we have enough on the ethics board? I mean, I don't think we do. I don't even think we have a legal ethics board.
Any other comments? Any other, Nancy?
It's my understanding that it's the state of New York's best practices to have a member of the council on the ethics board. It's also my understanding that if there's a committee of 3, that 2 is a quorum.
Thank you, Nancy.
So if you have someone from the council on the ethics and your friend, good friend, that other 2 ain't gonna go against that one on the board. That's all I think.
Any other comments before we close public comment? Okay, we need the motion to close public comment on the hearing for adoption of local law number 6.
I'll make that motion. I will second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, great. Moving on to the regular meeting of the town board. We have some amendments to the agenda. First of all, Nancy, I have a question for you. Sorry to put you on the spot. In order to pass this FEMA law for the flood damage prevention, do we need to do a seeker?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we need the paperwork to do a seeker.
We have it.
We don't have it in front of us.
Can we have a copy of the agenda?
It's right here.
Is this it?
No,
Okay.
you shouldn't have it.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Thank you.
I just didn't want to get rid of something.
The seeker review?
The secret review is in there.
Part one, part two, negative declaration,
Short form, period.
and the
Oh,
referral to the.
I gave you those by mistake.
All right, that's fine. We just need to, I'm gonna add that to the agenda, that we do the seeker.
Okay,
I don't wanna mess you up. Hank.
okay,
Go ahead,
let me
take-
grab, I shouldn't have given you these.
Okay.
These were annotated by the Duns.
Okay. And here's your secret negative declaration.
Thank you so much.
We don't need multiple copies, just as long as.
No, these are all
we have
one
guide
copy.
us through. Yeah,
These are one copy.
as we do it. Okay. So I'm adding to the agenda the seeker review for local law number 7. As well as the resolution to adopt local law number 7, resolution number 53, as well as the resolution number 54 to adopt the proposed ethics law. Any other resolutions or motions to add to this list in front of us?
Yes.
Now, by the way, again, I think it's really important not to vote on a resolution. The board can do this if they would like, but I think as a best practice, and it's something we've been very critical of before, is to not vote on something that the people of the town have never seen before. So if you would like to introduce something tonight, but not vote on it, you can do that in your council comments. But what I'm asking right now is if you propose a vote tonight, should we add it to this list?
I do propose a vote, and I've given copies to everyone in the audience. And
Tonight or
yes,
before tonight?
Tonight. We spoke about it at the last meeting.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, I think I have an ethical problem with voting on something that nobody has ever seen prior, unless there is a really urgent need to do so. Whatever it is that you're preparing to introduce, I know
Okay.
that I have not seen.
Okay.
And I would guess that probably, no, did anybody else see this before tonight?
No, it's the product of our working group.
Is it necessary to vote on it tonight?
It is not necessary to vote on it tonight, but it would be, there's gonna be a bid process involved, so it would be nice to get it out. But I have, if you take issue, there's no problem with introducing it tonight, and we can vote on it next meeting.
Next meeting. And by the way, you absolutely have it's within your purview to make the motion, and if you have a second, we can vote on it tonight. I just, because
Okay.
this is something we've been
Well-
very critical of in the past, I'd like to not.
Madam Supervisor, if there's enough discussion and everyone feels comfortable,
Okay.
we can say. It's a very simple resolution, so it's not to really do anything much.
Yeah,
So, make
okay.
bids, okay?
Great, so you'll talk about that in
I'll
your
talk
council
about that.
comments, and you can decide if you move forward. Anything else in terms of resolutions or motions? The other is, we'll hear, I think there will be some conversation with Artie about the purchase of the trucks. We may make a motion tonight, that's been discussed many times before. Okay, moving on to reports. Artie?
I'm sorry, Madam Supervisor.
Yeah.
I do have, could we at some point, outside of council comments, we have some information presented by the Fire Safety Working Group, the group of us. Can we add that into reports? Would that be okay to add it into reports?
Is there somebody other than you who would be reporting?
Yes,
Okay, who is it?
it would be Paul Spencer from our
Okay.
group.
I'll add you, Paul.
Thank you.
Right under Board of Ethics. Anything else to add to get that done? Great, okay, Artie.
All right, since last month, we finished mowing back to the fence rows. There are a few spots that, if the weather holds out and stays nice, there's a couple spots we want to hit. Once the crops are off, we can get on the backside of the ditch a little better, helps with drifting in the wintertime. We finished hauling in the sand. We've been replacing culverts, and we've done a couple blacktop repairs on a few roads. All the plow harnesses have been installed back on the trucks. Currently, we're doing maintenance on the trucks. Make sure, checking everything over, replacing hydraulic lines that are worn, that, you know, good chance of blowing and such. So this year, as you know, we had a couple repairs that I had to send out to get done. That usually doesn't happen. So there's not very much money left in the truck repair fund. So I'd like to ask the board to move $8,000 from 5142.4, which is the snow fund, over to 5130.4, which is the truck repair money. I got a couple trucks that need tires yet, and we just had some broken springs on the truck, which we're currently fixing right now.
Will you
The
tell me
two-
the numbers again?
From 5142.4 to 5130.4.
And it's repair to,
That's, that,
To
snow
repair from
fund
snow.
From the
to,
snow fund, thank you.
snow fund to, repair fund.
And you would like 8,000, correct?
Yeah, I think that'll be enough. That's about what we spent on those two major truck repairs, so that should be enough to get us through.
Artie, I have a question. Does that fund just go through the end of this year?
Yes, starts over again in January.
Okay, so do you feel confident that if we have a crappy December, that you'll still have enough money in there?
Oh, and the snow fund, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I take 8,000 out of it, that'll still leave me approximately 17,000.
Okay.
And I just had an order of cutting edges come in, which will come out of there. So that's probably gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be $2,000.
Because we can take it somewhere else if you feel it's
Yeah, we
supposed to
can,
be short. Okay.
I think we'll be all right. You know, as long, I mean, I look back through the years, some years we didn't spend any money
Yeah.
in snow fund came out at the end of the year, another, last year we did, we had snow early.
Let me ask a question. I saw in our vouchers that we were getting recaps. Do we use recaps, Art?
Not usually.
Okay, I just question that
I tried it.
I'm not a fan of
Read
recap.
again.
I'm not a fan of recaps. That's why I'm asking that question.
I tried it. They're cheaper than new tires.
They don't last. No.
They blew out.
Due to my family being in the trucking business all those years, my
Yeah, that's why you
uncle
see
and my
one.
cousins swore by never using recaps
Yeah.
for that reason.
No, I tried it once. The
No,
town
I
tried it
don't.
quite a few years ago, and I tried it on one truck, and we ain't had good luck.
I prefer not to use them.
So, no, I won't do it again.
Thank you.
I usually just, when you buy the new tires, they'll usually take the used tires
As a
and give you
cap.
casing
Give you
credit.
casing
Yeah.
credit. Yeah, that's what I saw. Okay, I just asked that question. Thank you.
it needs to be a resolution, and I just am drafting it right now.
Okay, thank you. I was just gonna ask you if you needed.
Okay.
All right, moving on. I gave each of you an updated machinery list. Nothing's changed other than we added the loader. One loader got taken off. It's still on there, I just we traded it in, and a new loader was added on the end.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
You're welcome.